Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is. It's the one on the triple, the G.O.D. And welcome back to your other favorite YouTube show, Triple the God Explains It All. I am, of course, Triple the G.O.D. As if in the last 10 seconds you forgot who I was. But welcome to Triple God Explains It All, everybody. And today, another one of those times where, where I'm about to shed light on stuff. And the game we happen to be shedding light on today, folks, is Girl Fight for Xbox 360 and PS3. Now, my reasoning, even though I don't really need anything, but I really think it just needs to be explained again, is that the reason we're taking a look at Girl Fight is because I'm going to be honest. I've read plenty of stuff about how people feel about this game, and it's like, from looking at it, just at the face of the game, you could probably look at the game and completely dismiss it as just a throwaway. It's just a throwaway 3D fighter that has nothing to offer in any depth whatsoever. But if Triple the Guy's about to explain it all, it's probably something to this game, and maybe it would be a wise idea to listen. I don't know, I'm not saying it from a cocky point of view, but you can look at the track record and see what I'm talking about. But anyhow, just forget all that. It's just that Girl Fight, as I'm about to prove, is a game that has plenty of depth, and as usual with any game that I take a look at in this manner, is a game that can be looked at and dichotomized at a high level if you choose to open your mind wide enough to think that way. And that's why we're here. I just want to show that a game like Girl Fight, that it's a $10 fighter, and it may look at it as a fighter with all girls, and it looks like this, or it may play like that. But this game has some depth, and it's going to be, as usual, my pleasure and privilege of showing you how much depth and how you can use it, and to keep those minds open and just don't be closed at it because of what somebody says or how it looks on the outside. But anyhow, we've got a lot to get into. But, one of the things I'm not going to get into is I'm not going to talk about the characters all too much. Because when I decided about, what was my aim for this video was going to be, one of the things that I didn't want to take away from anybody who looks at this video and wants to give Girl Fight a chance is that this game has a diversified roster. You have Warchild, Chaos, and Viper, and Wrench, Shogun, Daisy, Ghost, and Crow. 8 different characters that have 8 distinctive fighting styles. And that's the thing I don't want to take away from you, is that I want to set a basis for you so you can think about it at a high level. But I want you to walk away from this video and go play Girl Fight, and I want you to play as these characters, and I want you to feel a blank thing. And I feel that for that if I sit up here and tell you that this girl does this and this girl does that and this is her best combo or this, that I'm taking away something important from you. Is that I'm going to spoil a little bit of it, because some of what these characters can do has something to do with how we think about this game at a high level, which is the aim of this video, if you remember. So, it's going to be a little bit, but it's not going to be so much that you'll be like, well, Triple the G.O.D. didn't already play the game for me, so what's the point of me playing it? So, that's what I really came at it and really thought my aim for the video was going to be, was that part was just going to be left ambiguous as I possibly can, so that you can fill those blanks in and be, well, I know this already, so if I take what I already know, and then I pick a character, and then, I know she does this, and this, and then, then I can put something together really nicely. So, that's where we are. But, the thing is, what makes Girl Fight a game that you can dichotomize at a high level starts when you press X and you get into Psyops. Now, Psyops are I want to say an assistant Marvel or a gem in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, even though, that's a bad word. The word Street Fighter, Cross Tekken, and gems all in the same thing. Bad word, but, if you have a better analogy, please, comment somewhere. We doing this off the dome, so I'm giving you what I can. So please forgive me, or not, either or. It don't really matter. Anyhow, Psyops is where the meta game starts to come together. Because when we get done, I'm going to bring it all home. But just know that you really need to really start thinking about Psyops and how you can use them as how they work for you as a player, As for the character you select or who you fight, and science can be used and thought about and dichotomized that way. When we're done talking about all of these science, you'll see exactly what I mean. What I'm trying to figure out is that, that I really took a look at the science as they are on the character select screen. They are not exactly the same in how they're set up as they are when you buy them in the shop in this game, but that's another conversation for another day. So I might have to hop around a little bit, but I just want to make sure that we get the point across, and there's a lot to science. Now, before we get into our first science steel skin, is that there is one other thing you need to know about science. Is that science come in 4 different varieties and in 3 different flavors. Is that you have the siphon science, you have the illusion science, you have the attack science, and you have the crossform science, which one of those is steel skin. And like I also said, they do come in 3 flavors. Is that, as you see now, is that you have the normal version, you have the EX version, and you have the max version. And each one of them use, as we'll get into when we get to the gameplay portion, is that they use a level of science meter while you're fighting. So we'll get into all of that and we'll re-explain it. But as we talk about steel skin though, steel skin, like I said, is one of the cross-form science. And steel skin is the defensive science. So it's like when you activate it, you get a huge defense boost. But the thing is that as we just talked about, is that science come in 3 flavors, right? When you start to get into EX steel skin and max steel skin, is that what we're going to learn when we get into the gameplay portion is about how combos work and how they work in stuns and stuff. When it comes to steel skin, is that if you use an EX version of a steel skin while you're being comboed, a well-timed activation of a steel skin in EX form during a combo will net you a free counter. So it doubles as not only shooting your defense up, but a way to get your opponent off of you so that you can get some breathing room and at a minimum reset whatever kind of offense that your opponent was trying to wield. And the same for Steel Skin Max, except it's for anything that hits you that can be countered, that if you activate it at the right time, any move in the game that can be countered, if correctly activated by Steel Skin Max, will automatically do a counter. So that's just so you know. So, all in all, Steel Skin, it is a wonderful defensive science if what your game is knowing that I need to protect myself just in case things go bad. So, think about that as we're building science and as we go on, and, we'll talk more about it later. Next, we have one of 2 illusion science, and this is Phase Shift. Phase Shift makes you invincible, and while you're invincible, you heal health. And it also comes in the 3 flavors. It's normal, EX, and max. And the activation thing is that once you activate it, you become invincible. And in this case, is that when it comes to each level of science, is that you stay invincible longer and you regain health longer. That's just what the give and take of that is that as long as you're doing something other than being smacked around by your opponent during phase shift, you are regaining health. So you can think about phase shift in 2 ways. You can think about it in an offensive manner, and be that I can activate it, during a combo or something, where my health is starting to regenerate while I'm trying to finish a combo and get my opponent off me. That's the way you can use it. You can also use it in that same form to use it if you make enough room for your opponent, knock them to the other side of the screen. I can activate phase shift while I'm trying to figure out, while I'm trying to dodge and figure out my next move, but I'm regaining health the whole time. That's phase shift in a nutshell. Is that phase shift works really good with steel body as a backup science for one another, because that's something we're going to get to in our gameplay portion, is that how science work in conjunction with the science meter. So, that's something to think about too. So, we have the other cross-form science, Flame Body. Flame Body is probably one of my favorite science in the game, and here's why. There are some science that actually do attacks. Flame Body in each of its forms is one of those. This is because if you activate it during certain parts of your combo, what'll happen is that the lady in question she'll step forward and she'll do like a swap. I don't even know how to describe it. It's an attack. Just put it that way. And if I pick it as a sign-up in our gameplay portion, I'll show you what it is. Is that she does an attack, and what it does is that it takes the place of something that would do a reset stat. So it's like if you do a combo, and then if it knocks down, but you're able to do something to make the opponent stand back up. So Flame Body does that, and not only that, but as you see, as you might have read or been reading, is that as you select higher levels of Flame Body, is that you do more damage, but the cost of health is a thing. But the one thing you do know is that using Flame Body and having drain all your energy, it will only drain you to one hit point. So it can't like turn on you and kill you. But it's not a thing that you really need to think about, because if you have an opportunity to use Flame Body and then you activate it and you do a long combo, you can probably turn a losing match into a winning one with a correct activation and a long enough combo to do a combo long enough. To do a combo long enough to kill your opponent. And that's how you should really think about Flame Body. Flame Body is a Psyamp for the attack oriented. Or if you're picking it using a character you know has long strings and knowing when you can stick a Flame Body activation in there somewhere to do more damage. So, that's the thing you have to think about too. That's Flame Body. We have our other illusion Psyamp, and this is Heartbreak. Heartbreak is an interesting Psyamp, and here's why. When it comes to Heartbreak EX and Heartbreak Max, what you can do is, hypothetical, if that say that you are doing a combo and you know when that combo is going to null out, using Heartbreak Max or Heartbreak EX will wipe away any stun, any stagger from that combo, keep the combo going, but pretty much put the combo back to 0. So you could kind of sort of do if you know an elongated combo that you know does a lot of damage, you can do it twice. And then because of the way Heartbreak EX and Heartbreak Max work is that it takes longer for your opponent to recover, so that you can add a big finisher in the end. So is that there are certain attacks where they do a lot of big damage, but they're single strikes, and they're usually hard to land otherwise. But the Heartbreak Psyamp makes that a lot easier for you to put your opponent in a situation where they can't recover yet. So let me throw off this slow attack that I know is going to hit, because that's what it is. Heartbreak is an interesting ability, because it's like I want to think about it and talk about it more in conjunction with Flame Body, as we talked about earlier, because of this. Is that when you activate a Psyamp, and we'll get into this as well in the gameplay portion, is that when you activate a Psyamp, is that some Psyamps are passive after they're activated. Like once they're activated, they're done. All of the meter that it would have taken to drain it has already drained it. You can continue. And we'll talk about the Psyamp that is very important in combo building that does that in a minute. But when it comes to things that have countdown like Flame Body and Heartbreak EX and the Siphon abilities, which we're about to get into, is that instead of it being that you activate it, it's over, they have a countdown. Is that when it comes to Heartbreak EX, when it comes to the Siphons, when it comes to Flame Body, is that they all have a countdown, and it's like instead of it taking all your meter, it just slowly counts down while said Psyamp is activated. So what you can't do is you can't activate a second Psyamp while the first one is activated. So you have to keep that in mind too as you try to put Psyamps together. That if you want to put together a duo of Psyamps that work hand in hand together, you have to know and understand, well, if I pick this level of Psyamp and this Psyamp together, and then I have to also consider that I have 3 meters to use and this and this and that. So if you have a Psyamp that you rely on, that you always going to use, and a backup for that's one thing. But if you have, you want to use it as a duo of Psyamp, that you have that option too. But Heartbreak EX doesn't, Heartbreak period doesn't offer that for you, but it's great for knowing that for characters that have elongated combos to know that I can put you in pretty much almost null situation and then, you know, wipe everything away and then redo the combo again for massive damage. And we have both of our siphon abilities that we just talked about, and that's spelled PSI. PSIPHON, like siphon, but with a P. See, that's witty. And we have Life Leech, and we have Side Drain. Now, Life Leech and Side Drain are some of our science that are two sides of the same coin. Is that they do the same thing, but the ending when you activate is different. For Life Leech and for Side Drain is that they Life Leech when you activate it drains life, and when you activate Side Drain it drains your side meter and gives it to you. Something like that. The thing about our siphon ability, they work like Flame Body. And also, to top it off, is that they work just like Flame Bodies if they activate an attack, but the thing is, something the game doesn't even tell you, is that the higher a level of science you use when you activate it, like I talked about how you can activate Flame Body in a combo, the longer the reach and the quicker startup. So, that's something to keep in mind. So, if you know that if you're down around, say for example, you're down around and I have Side Drain available and I know I can win this fight, but I need some meter coming in. I need some meter coming into that next round. Do a decent combo. During that stagger stun, activate Side Drain, do a long combo, drain all of that and kill your opponent. That's the way to think about it. So we'll get into how all of these things work together. So, you know, just know that Life Leech and Side Drain, two sides of the same coin. One drains one drains the other, and that the startup is less as you use higher level versions of said site. So, and I don't know if you guys got the thought on what the thing for Side Drain is, so I'll just show you guys that real quick before we continue. And the other two sides of the same coin is that we have Mind Blast and we have Seismic Fist. Now, when it comes to Mind Blast and Seismic Fist, which are attack science, because I don't want to forget that that's important, is that when it comes to Mind Blast and when it comes to Seismic Fist, this is some yin and yang level stuff right here. Because let me explain. Mind Blast is an attack that, upon activation, drains the level it costs for you to spend for Mind Blast. So say if you have an EX Mind Blast and you hit it. If your opponent had 2 meters, they don't have that no more. And the same for Mind Blast, and the same for Mind Blast Max as well. The thing is, when it comes to Mind Blast and for Seismic Fist, is that as you use higher level side amp versions of those, is that the startup is quicker, and then in the case of Seismic Fist we get to, it does more damage. For Mind Blast, this is key, because using EX or Max during a combo, that even though it does the same thing that Flame Body does, that it makes your opponent in a crumple situation re-stand up if the combo is null yet. And you can also do like some dash cancel type stuff, and we'll get into that too. It also works the same way for Heartbreak EX and Heartbreak Max. And even regular Heartbreak, that after you activate it, if you're close to your opponent, you can do a dash cancel out of it and continue your combo, which is the only way in most situations you can continue a combo anyhow. When it comes to Seismic Fist, it's the same thing. It's that, you know, like I said, is that the higher level of Cyan, the quicker the startup, and the more damage it does. So with a Seismic Fist Max, you can do about a little bit more than 40% of your opponent's meter. But here's where the two sides of the same coin thing gets really tricky, and what I really like. When it comes to Mind Blast, is that Mind Blast is an attack that's high. It's an attack that hits high. Is that the normal version is blockable, and so is Mind Blast EX, except the fact where you do take some guard damage if you're hit with it. Mind Blast Max is completely unblockable. But in the case in where you would use it in a combo situation, though, none of this really matters. The only thing that you are concerned about when it comes to Mind Blast and Seismic Fist when it comes to level of Psyamp is the range of it. Higher the Psyamp, bigger the range. So when it comes to Mind Blast, is that if you have a higher level Psyamp and your opponent's a little bit out of range for you to throw a normal out, you cancel right into Mind Blast at the end. It puts the stun long enough for them not only to get their side meter drain, but then you can dash in and do a dash cancel when they continue your combo. The same thing for Seismic Fist is that Seismic Fist hits low, so guess what? You knock your opponent down and they don't roll, and you activate Seismic Fist Max. That's an OTG, and that's a little bit more than 40% of your opponent's energy bar. Oh, but I'm not done yet. Here's the fun part. In this game, because it's a 3D game, you jump by holding the guard button and pressing up. That's the only way you can dodge Seismic Fist. That if you see Seismic Fist coming, if you jump, you can jump, and not only that, because all characters have an attack with punch and kick that does that you do like a jumping attack. If somebody set up Seismic Fist Max and do it wrong and you jump over, that's a free punish. The same thing for Mind Blast, except because it hits high, if you duck it, it goes completely over your head, and once they miss, bam, free punish. So it's not all peaches and cream. You gotta understand how your Psyamps work in conjunction with one another. But that's what I've been talking about for the last 20 minutes, about how Psyamps work in conjunction with each other. And that brings us back to our main point, is that what I said in the beginning, that I've explained to you a little bit how all these Psyamps work, is that now you have the intelligence to now know that a Psyamp not only does this, but it does this and this too, but it can do that too, and I know that because this Psyamp works like this and another Psyamp works like that they may be able to work together, or maybe that I want to just, invest into one Psyamp and just have another Psyamp there just in case I want to use it. And then the same thing goes with, if you want to think about using it, trying to pertain to the character that you play, or trying to use it as a counter pick to anything your opponent can do, Psyamps are a deep thing if you really give it that mode and that train of thought to know that I can do this, and this with all of this information in front of me, and I can use this to enhance my personal playstyle, to enhance the playstyle of the character I select, or the completely other counter pick and screw around with my opponent. Those are the things that Psyamp set up for, and that's where you got to get to when you think about things like this. And I'm all explained out. Well, not really, because we have other things to do. So I'm going to use. Let me see. Yeah, we'll use Heartbreak EX. No, actually, pick my main, pick Chaos and select Heartbreak EX, and I guess we'll get with let me see. Yeah, I think you know what, we will go with the normal setup, is that, you know what I'm saying, because normally, because I think about how I set up my plans is that I have 3 meters. So is that if I know that if I use a level 2, that if I got 4 meters and I use a Heartbreak EX and I can stall a combo long enough for the meter for the time to run out for it, then I can probably tap a Flame Body at the end. And even though, I may do 1 or 2 or 3 hits, but Flame Body does a lot of damage and trade for that. So knowing that information as well. So we'll go with that, and I picked Daisy. We'll have Blue out Daisy, and we'll just give us some random Psyamps. So we're just gonna wait for the game to load. We're gonna get into our gameplay portion. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna take a drink of this water because I had a feeling I might be a little dry. Hey there, kids. Welcome to our gameplay portion. Now we're just gonna hop straight into the basics. We talked about earlier, you got a guard button, and if you press up while guarding, you can jump forward. Because it looks like it's only jumping forward when you're jumping straight up. You learn something new every day. You also have a punch, and a kick, and a throw button. The thing about the throw button is that you have a couple of different throws, and I guess Daisy will have to demonstrate. This is a neutral button throw. and this is a direction towards your opponent, that being forward or even up. And just so I can demonstrate, thank you Chaos now, is that any version of a throw during the back does a back throw. Because this is a 3D game, is that this is a game that does have counters. Is that regardless of what you may or may not have heard, this game does actually have the 3 levels of hitting somebody somewhere, which is high, medium, and low. The thing is that the counter in this game reminds me of actually, because I get to actually say this, of King of Fighters Maximum Impact 2 and King of Fighters Maximum Impact Regulation A, where how Zabaki worked in that game. Is that some that you with pressing back in the throw button counters any high and some mid, and down does any low and some mid. Is that it's some mids that hit kind of weird, so is that you can't counter them with the high counter, but you can counter with the low counter and vice versa. Because we're not getting to spoiling how characters actually work, you're going to have to figure that one out for yourself. Now, here is the meat and potatoes of this video, because you now have to understand how the combo system works. And I will just use a basic combo, and I'll just use back and kick repeatedly. Now just watch.
Emergency.
You see how poor Daisy had to crumple after Chaos repeatedly kneed her in the kick? I'll show you one more time because, you know, they need to see this.
Inadequate.
This is the basic of combo knowledge in girl fighting. Understanding that you get the maximum of 3 stuns in a combo before the next available hit will knock down. But what should you do in that situation?
Disappointing.
Something
Disappointing.
like that. In Chaos's case, that is her most damaging normal that you can do that don't involve running. So by just jumping and pressing the punch button, I think it does, if I'm not mistaken, 100 points of damage. Yeah, and the kick button does 75, and her 4-4 kick does like, I think that's like 80. So when you think about it like that, knowing, again, getting intimate with your characters, learning them and knowing what they do, and knowing that this is how the game works. 3 stuns, and I'm going to take advantage of the maximum stun, and I'm going to knock Daisy in the face. But how does this come in conjunction to everything we spent 20 minutes talking about? Well, I just so happened to prepare a combo for this video so I can prove exactly what I'm saying with the help of some Heartbreak EX. So, let's hope it actually works.
Pathetic.
See, it didn't work because, see, the reason why is that, weirdly, is that some chains in this game, even though they combo, the game doesn't recognize they do. And in cases like that where the combo is still going but the game doesn't recognize it, you can be countered. So the only solution I can offer you is that you can't be graceful with this game. You're going to have to master shit out. You're just going to have to. It's just a thing. So let's try that again.
Worrisome. Heartbreak. Splendid.
Like that. That's just an example of what you can do. But let me see if I can get the full combo out. See, I missed it. Let me see.
Days. Heartbreak.
Knowing that my combo was going in, I knew that that's what had to come next. But I want to get this on wax. See, I pressed the wrong button again. Boom, just like that. Now, we'll show you another example. I'm gonna do a different string now. Try to do a different string.
Inadequate. Plain body.
Just like that. You see how much more, you see, this is
Exposed.
what you really want to do. Is that what you want to do is you want to set your opponent up for doing something like flame body to like knock them down at the end, so you already have it activated. because you don't want to do things like naked activations where you're just doing it off of nothing. It's like doing a raw tag in like a versus fighter where you can be severely punished. Which is why the building block thing I want to lay out is that when you're learning to use science, you have to learn how to use them correctly. Like I said, the major no-no is that you just don't do raw science. That's just something you just don't do. Is that also, and I'm gonna try to do that heart attack or that heartbreak combo again because that's something else I want to show off.
Disappointing. Critical.
The combo weird stuff, but I did also show off is that when you activate certain science like heartbreak and mind blast, is that you have a couple of additional frames where you can do like a dash cancel from it to get right back on your opponent so that you can finish your combo or whatever. But I want to land that full heartbreak combo. Okay.
Stagger. Halfway. Threat.
See the weirdness of this game. The weirdness, because I don't know why that is the way it is. I think it may be the way that the game's animated is how it works, or maybe because Cass is in the corner. I don't know. I had a break. I had a heartbreak earlier. But oh boy, we're gonna get this before we get out of here. I didn't pretty much told you everything you need to know. It's just that now I'm just showing out now. Because I just need to just prove that, that combo works as I stated it. Okay, maybe it is because Chaos is in a corner doing it. Or you may need to match it out. Okay, excellent. Do the wrong combo, I don't do. Oh, and then do the third part of the hit when we supposed to do the second one. Well, I guess that is up for investigation about why the combo works like that. Oh, wow. That's interesting. About why that combo works that way. Let me see something. Hold up. Yeah, we started from the beginning game, and we just gonna do it from the actual middle of the screen. I guess it really is just, am I gonna let you land this combo, man, or not? I am in awe right now. Oh, and then I landed and do the wrong part of it. Oh, and then do a whole different combo entirely. This is fun.
Excellent. Defense.
Bingo! And there we go. This took a little time, but that's just an example of how science work in this game. So, we've been here for half an hour. Learned anything? I hope you did. Because it's now irrefutable proof on wax. Girl fight. Deeper than you think it is. People making combo videos, they leaving damage on the table. I hope now you can make a combo video for real. Thank me in the credits. Please. I'd appreciate that. But that's it for us. I'm out of here. We are done. We're done. I hope you guys got something from this. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any questions about anything at all, then I'm still learning the game myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to learn Chaos, and I'm trying to learn Daisy as my secondary. So, I haven't really gotten deep into the other characters yet, but I really do. I really hope the guys at Kung Fu Factory, if they could do me a favor, if they listening, could you guys get the combo list on a PDF or a PNG for each one of the characters so I don't have to keep pausing the game in practice mode? I'd appreciate that. Everybody from now on should be doing the injustice thing where you can tag a combo and have it sit at the top of the screen. And that should be a thing in video games along with online practice modes and the actual video game, but either or. But for $10, I've enjoyed, for $10, I enjoyed myself. Is that, I said 2 years ago when I first heard about the game that I was going to give the game an honest shot and hope that I could find something deep and engrossing about it. And now that I found something deep and engrossing about it, is that I shared it with you, and I hope that now that you take this information about what you've learned about some intermediate stuff and dichotomize it and get into that high level and trying to bring everything together, that you can see that, just because a game looks like something or a game may be something doesn't mean that you completely ignore it, shun it, push it to the side like it has nothing to offer. We've been here for 35 minutes. If 35 minutes doesn't prove that Girl Fight has something to offer on a high level dichotomy, I don't know what else to tell you. Again, video, irrefutable proof of exactly what I've just said. But that's it for me. I'm finna go and get out of here. We got one more video. I gotta go handle that Super Mario Bros. 2 business, so that will be happening later on. So be expecting that before the end of the month, whenever it is I fit it in, and we'll be back on our next game. The cool, either tomorrow or Monday, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out one step at a time. And I think that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I am, of course, the one and the only triple the G.O.D, and this is your other favorite YouTube show, Triple the Guy Explains It All, and I will holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.